Hi friends, welcome to my after Christmas home tour. I've prepared our home for winter by making it cozy and comfy to get us through the cold months ahead. As always, I hope this gives you some inspiration and ways to create a cozy, welcoming space in your own home. I want our house to feel like a warm welcome hug to my family and anyone who visits during the winter or any time of year. I hope this little tour lets you feel right at home. Starting here in the entry, we'll kind of pan around and show you a little glimpse of everything together. I decided to use pops of green to replace the greenery from Christmas and gold, and you can see with the blanket there, and like the moody dark florals and lights up here on the chandelier, just to replace the glow of the Christmas light. This time of year seems extra dark, and the time change and everything can make it just feel kind of dreary, especially after Christmas time and taking down all your decorations. So I added the lights to the chandelier, which I'll show up close in just a minute. I also added in lamps and candles and mirrors to reflect the light. Anything that brings in lighting makes it just feel warm and cozy. So I feel like that's very important. So here in the entryway, I added this runner here in front of the bench because we got this little table recently and it really opened up the floor here behind the couch, so I kind of wanted to fill that space in. And we already had the rug or the runner up in the attic, so I just brought that down for now. I do need something a little wider, or I might just need to do something completely different, but for now I did add the lamp and the table and a blanket here just to kind of fill in the space. And it does leave a smaller opening over here by the couch, but I think it works out okay. I'll show you a view over in the living room in just a little bit, but this is how the entry is looking as of right now with the extra space. And if you've watched my videos before, then you know that this chandelier doesn't work. It's not wired through. But I did this same thing last Christmas. After we took everything down, I just put the candles that were on the Christmas tree in the chandelier here, and it works pretty good. I also added these extra crystals to the bottom here that were also hanging on my Christmas tree. I just feel like this makes it a little fancy. I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do here on the hooks, and I still don't know if I even like this, but for now, this is what I have going on. So this is the new little table that we added here in the corner. I do feel like having a table here does feel extra inviting. It's just a place to put your keys or whatever. I love the legs and the detailing on it and the marble top. And I just put this little brass box that I got on the same trip where I picked the table up, and some books and this brass planter, and I tied the velvet ribbon around just to bring in a little bit more color to this space. I decided an extra cozy touch would be putting some antique books in the planter, because what's more cozy than curling up with a good book in the winter time? This is a lamp that I had in my booth inventory for a while, and I found it at a yard sale last summer. I loved the finial on it, and the colors are so pretty. So I decided to bring it in the house for a little pop of color and just to see how I like it. And it is quite nice having a lamp here when we sit on this side of the couch. Or I find myself in the mornings and in the evenings just turning nothing but the lamps on. It is super nice. Highly recommend just using lamps. You'll notice spots on the walls here. We live here, and before having kids, we decided flat paint was a good idea. And now I'm kind of regretting that choice because I cannot find a good way to keep them clean. If you have a trick, please let me know. I've tried a few different methods and nothing seems to work for me. It doesn't look like they've been cleaned at all, no matter what I do, and it drives me crazy. We are going to wait to repaint the walls until the boys are just a little bit older, so if you have any tips to get me through until then, please send them my way. This moody floral artwork and the frame, both of these I've found at Goodwill, different trips, but they go so good together. I thought the roses on this were perfect for Valentine's Day, and the dark colors in the background feel like it's kind of appropriate for winter time. They bring in color, but not like too much. And I think this piece will be really good to transition into spring and even into summer and fall if I wanted to. This is just a really good piece for all year round, so I really like having that here. Here on the island, I kept it really simple with just a black urn with some white roses. You can see they're kind of getting wilted here, but don't worry. This is future Jessica on the voiceover, and I replaced them with fresh white roses, and I actually hung the roses that were in the urn in this video in the entryway, which I'll try to remember to add a clip of that at the end. So they're drying out now, but I do like having fresh flowers in the winter. It just makes the house feel more alive. I did something that I've never done before here on top of the hood, and that is adding artwork. I love the unexpected little surprise it brings up here in the kitchen. The frame I found at Goodwill, and the artwork inside came from a book that I got at the Salvation Army, and I'm really loving the color and just the uniqueness this brings to the kitchen. To fill in the space under the hood, I just added this cutting board. In this corner, I used this brass little planter with the roses. Again, a little hint of Valentine's Day romance. And then I added some contrast with the ironstone and silver. I try to always have a little bit of copper in the kitchen. And instead of a wreath on top of the hood, we added a wreath to the cabinet here with this little cream and blue sash for more color. I always hide my drinks in the sink when I film these videos, so now you know my little secret. And if this piece looks familiar, it's because it's the same exact print that's hanging over by the front door. I didn't mean to keep this. I was actually going to put it in my booth, but I was wiping the counters down when I was getting my tags ready, and I stuck this over here to get it out of the way. And I was like, that's kind of cute, so it's staying. I don't know if I'll put it in my booth now or not. I kind of like it here. Here in this corner, I added a little bit of blue and white dishes and rose dishes to kind of pull in, you know, romance, all that good stuff. I couldn't wait to use this old antique teapot that I found over the summer, and it came in handy because it is both practical and pretty. I've been keeping the boys' granola bars in here, so it replaced the little gingerbread house I had out at Christmas, so that worked out really good. Having a little vignette set up with the tea things just feels very appropriate for winter time, because what's better than a nice warm mug with your favorite drink on those cold winter nights? And this little cutie reminds me of Cupid, so you know I had to keep him out. I did add some Valentine's candy on top. I just brought in another pop of green here with the topiary on the stool. I haven't done anything at all outside except take the Christmas away, and I did leave the pine cones in the little, I don't even remember what that's called, but they're on the table. Everything else on the porch looks very bare for now, until spring more than likely. For the centerpiece on the table, I wanted something simple but also cozy, and I decided a good way to add in some more of that cozy lighting would be adding the big candles to this dish. So that's what I did. And I took some more of the crystals off of the Christmas tree and added them here on the chandelier. This may look silly, I don't know, I can't tell. Part of me loves it, part of me thinks it looks out of place, but they're still here as of right now, so we'll see how long this lasts. So here on the mantle is what I was talking about earlier, just bringing in a hint of Valentine's Day with this candelabra and this artwork here. You'll see the roses and the little cupid on the bottom of the dish. So I just felt like these two went so good right next to each other. I'm so sorry about the glare, y'all. No, I'm not a professional YouTuber, but there he is. Isn't he so cute? Perfect for Valentine's Day, and he goes so good with my little candlestick. And then this set, the bottle on the back here did not have a stopper, so I just stuck a dried rose to fill that in and add a little extra something. And then I layered a little mirror and another candlestick with the really pretty rose detailing and a swan. Here you can see the amount of space we have to get into the living room, sitting area, whatever you want to call it. I think it's still enough room to move comfortably, but on the secretary, I added this little rose needlepoint pillow here. And this book page just is full of romance, if you ask me. Just imagine going on a date night here. How pretty is this? I brought this little lamp that was in the kitchen over here in the corner of the secretary, and I really love having a little light over in this corner. One of my favorite ways to make the house feel peaceful is to look up vintage artwork on YouTube and just find a really pretty scene, or even sometimes I'll do the ambiance videos that have like a crackling fire or some jazz music, but normally I'll just do the artwork and then I'll put a record in my record player. There's just something about having classical music playing while your little boys are crashing trucks into each other, running through the house. It helps. It's so funny, but I love my boys. I wouldn't have it any other way. I felt like these little antlers added a touch of winter, so I left them up here on the mantle. did recently switch out the curtain rods for these little gold swan ones. I saw Homemade Vintage here on YouTube. Danielle shared these on her Instagram story. They are from Amazon and they blend in really well with the little swans I have in this cabinet here in between the windows. Here's another Goodwill frame with another page out of the Salvation Army book. And then here's a view from the side of the living room. I added the gold blanket here, and this pillow right here is actually the same exact shade of gold. For whatever reason, on camera you can't really tell, but they go together really well. And then on the little coffee table here, I have this little boxwood greenery in the champagne bucket. And I love the tarnished silver color of this. It is my favorite. This concludes my little winter home tour. Just to close, I'm going to show you the artwork I replaced the winter scene with here in the hallway. This came from my friend Brittany's booth, which is right next to mine at Vendors Village. I love the frame on this, and I love that she's reading a book. That is the perfect winter hobby. So this really inspires me to start reading again. But anyways, I hope you all had a great Christmas and a great start to the new year. I hope this gave you some inspiration and ideas to make your home feel like a big cozy hug. It is almost springtime. We are almost there. So I just wanted to end with a little hope and a positive note. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again soon.